and I'm not gonna keep quiet. Like, here's my thing. Greetings, King. Let's go. What up, y'all? Uh, Hawaii Mike. We talked about this earlier, bro. I didn't even think I was gonna actually do this. Lady Blogger, what up? Um, Chief Reese, what up? Nah, this situation, as far as Doechii is concerned, my phone been on fire all day. Like, toss a relaxing Sunday out the window. There's none of that. And I don't know if we should be relaxed. If y'all want to talk about it, check the link. I'm live on YouTube right now. Pull up. But I'm gonna say my piece, and then I'm gotta use our voice or they will. Yep, Mike, you're right. Mike, you've been right the whole time. You've been right the whole time. The whole it was highly disrespectful, but Glasses said the right thing. Check this. Glasses is always gonna say exactly what he thinks. That's one of the reasons why I fuck with him like that, because there's certain people. Glasses is one of those dudes you never have to wonder what's on their mind. They're gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you, Scoop, what up? Scoop, what up? Excuse me. I don't want to disrespect your name, Playboy. Salute to you. Nah, man, it's we can't let this. Yeah. Here's what I don't get. Here's what I don't get. For anybody who wants to bust it up real quick, I'm over here on YouTube. I put the link in the title of this. Please feel free to pull up. And here they come. What up, Mac? What's good, man? Chad, what's happening with you? Talking about Doechii, talking about Aiden Ross. I don't even like saying his name, but in the words of Guru, you gotta name the devil. You gotta name the mind. You gotta call them by their name. You can't let them just slide and live anonymous and stop giving them credit for the fuck shit they do. Like, yo, I'm trying to figure out, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to know is when the suckers got so secure to start talking reckless. Suckers is gonna do what suckers do because they're suckers, they're goofies. That's how it works. When did it get okay? How did they get so bold? How did suckers get so brazen? You just what like three dudes in the room who we've never known for their music, and that includes Tekashi 6ix9ine, who we've never known for his music. We know him for everything else but his music. Are gonna make a diss record about a woman who we only know for her music, like maybe one or two controversial things as far as her interactions with the public, but her whole reputation is off her music. And then we got this goofy from the streaming world pulling up to call her a plant, all kinds of reckless talk. And the plant was the light thing. The plant, the plant was the light thing that he said. Calling up, calling her a plant was light. It was all the other shit. You know, slut. I'm not even gonna repeat that shit. But like, when did suckers get so bold? I remember when suckers stayed in a sucker's place. If you didn't have nothing nice to say, you didn't say nothing. Dudes wouldn't even talk if they didn't have a gun on them or something crazy because that was a sucker's protection. You couldn't back up your words. You had to, but now they jump behind a live stream and say all kinds of ridiculous shit. And they don't even feel they feel no kind of way about saying the shit they do. And when did we take my eye off for 2 seconds and all of a sudden suckers are setting policies. Aiden needs a stern talking to or be taught a lesson with hands. Bro, it's the second one. I'm not one for advocating violence, but like, what are we doing? Grifter's world for the moment. Yeah, but that's nasty work. And we not supposed to, I hear you. I hear you. Doechii, I hear you. But we're not supposed to be okay with that. That's not supposed to be a thing. At all. At all. First of all, let's keep it a beam. Doechii, super talented. Super talented young lady. Gorgeous. Beautiful skin. Out here representing for a group who often feels underrepresented. Spitting. We only know for her. We only know her for breaking through as far as her music concerned. And to call her a plant just shows how long you've been around. The woman been outside. You just didn't know about it. But when did we start going to streamers for their music knowledge? Like J Star, what up? J Cola, what up? Salute to everybody joining me over here on YouTube. Jesus, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little flustered. What it is with Kodak, that was the breakup, bro. I'm not. If we talking about Tekashi, like I can tell you more about his controversy than I can about anything that dude did musically. Period. Sorry, not sorry. And I'm a music journalist. It's not to say I don't know the music, but as far as his controversy is concerned, run that down word for word. That made way more noise than anything else did. In my world, for what we were checking for the stuff we were checking for the things we were interested in, for the things that was important to us. It's music first. All that other shit is just noise. And dude made a lot of noise. But we know Doechii for her music. Doechii song called "Oh My Bad, I'm Coming." Okay, I got you. You coming in mid combo. I got you. J Star, what up? One time for Gat Taylor. Gat Taylor's in the building. Shout out to Gat Taylor. Shout out to the Brooklyn Way. Shout out to the location. Yeah, man. We are not supposed to stay quiet when we see shit like this. And do me a favor, everybody watching. Do not, do not, do not let them distract you and throw you off and start talking about, well, how come you don't say nothing when rappers are disrespecting other females and rappers are disrespecting black women? That's our business to handle inside of the house. Nobody's saying that's cool. But the way family talks to family does not mean outsiders get to come into your house and start addressing your family members the exact same way. We gotta that is not a valid reason. I heard the exact same bullshit. Shout out to my brother Curtiss King just pulled up. One time for Curtiss King. And this is one of the West Coast, one of my guys who just so happens to reside in California. And I don't like talking on Cali business without being able to check in with a dude whose voice is well respected and well recognized out there. But I'm gonna say my piece. Yo, Curtiss, bro, I can't even keep my thoughts in order. The more I think about the situation, the more I talk about it, the more irritated I get, to the point where I can't even get my sentences straight. Like, this is something different for me. And
yeah,
I haven't felt like this. I haven't felt like this since the Trap Law Ross situation I had on My Expert Opinion.
What was that one? I missed that.
Me and Trap Law Ross got into it because he was talking to us about the documentary he did on Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
And
I didn't even know you worked for Vine or for, you said not Vine. You said for Vice, right?
No. He was talking about Vaughn.
Oh, he's talking about King Von. I thought you said he was doing that for the company. No, he's
No,
doing
he
it.
did a documentary on Vaughn, and it was basically
expose, 3-hour, 4-hour expose
about how many bodies he had, who he actually killed. And I, started pointing out the negative aspects about doing that. And he fired back at me. Well, You know, how come you don't say anything to the rappers who come up here? My biggest thing when my biggest thing, bro, if I'm talking to you about what you're doing, please don't talk to me about what somebody else is doing. Don't point the finger that way. I'm talking to you. I'm talking when the rappers are in the chair, we'll have that conversation. Number one. Number two, the way I talk to my family members, the way I talk to little homies who are old enough to be my nieces and nephews and little cousins, the way I speak to them about the things they're doing ain't got nothing to do with the way I talk to you. If I
Right.
talk to a kid who's out in the street tearing shit up, it's going to be a different conversation than the way I talk to a cop who pulls up on them and exploits the fact that they're out here tearing shit up. Sorry, not sorry. The conversation is going to be different how I treat family versus how I treat an outsider. And bro, you an outsider, and something about the way you've been accepted kind of made you forget that. You coming in the house with your shoes on, wiping your feet all over the place, and then got the nerve to start pointing out policies you don't like. And my big, I'm rambling. I want to let you. I'm
You
rambling now.
good.
But like,
Nah, this is I think the top of the year is the perfect time to get this energy off. Because I think that moving forward, there's gonna be a lot of great things that are gonna happen for hip hop in general this year, especially for independent hip hop, where a lot of the creativity runs free. But I think we have to get the papers right. We got to get the house in order before we get to celebrating. And you know, it's a hell of a mess they left.
King, I'm with you. I'm with you. All that. I'm with you. That makes perfect. So let's get the party started here. Number one, for everybody watching, just understand before you jump out the window to start calling me a hypocrite, start yelling about double standards. If you have a sibling and the two of you are arguing, and you happen to call your sibling, let's say it's a woman, so you got a sister, and you call her a bitch, right? Y'all in the house beefing, you call her a bitch, cool. Somebody outside the house call your sister a bitch, call your brother a bitch. You're supposed to tap their jaw. You're supposed to cave their face in. Why? Because how we talk to each other in the house, it's not the same as how we talk to each other outside the house. That's the way I was brought up. That's all I know. How I speak to my sister is different than how you're allowed to speak to my sister. I don't give a fuck what she do. Watch your mouth. And I'm not saying she's right or wrong. You watch your mouth on how you approach my family. It's going to be a little different. You don't get to get it off the way I do. I don't care if you heard us from standing outside on the corner watching the two of us yell in the house. You can hear everything that's coming in. You can hear everything from inside the house because we're yelling that loud. I don't care if we invited you in and you sitting on the couch watching us argue, which is exactly what we have going on right now. It's a whole bunch of people watching how we get down and they start emulating our ways as if they're family members. And I'm sorry. Glasses said it right. We got to start drawing the line somewhere. These outsiders need to understand that they are outsiders. The young lady that you had on your pod who said we were too accessible.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro, when you see her, high five her and kiss her on the forehead from me.
Got you.
You know how I said, I salute you with both hands.
I do you one even better when we have her back on as a guest. I want to do like some smaller panels, and I have a few different topics that I want to touch on. But she's definitely somebody that my audience wants to have back because of the voice she represents and just the way she gets around to her point. So when I do that, I'm gonna be hitting you up and seeing what your schedule is looking like, so we can possibly get y'all to come in contact. Because I think there's conversations that are necessary in a public manner. Then there's certain conversations, as you said. First of all, if I need to help somebody that I love get back on point, that's our business. The last person I'm going to consult with is somebody who doesn't know their place in this very environment and has shown a tradition or a pattern of being reckless. And it takes a special type of entitlement to look at these black folks and say, I know more about what's better for you than for me, as if your family dynamic is without a flaw. as if you don't have your own issues. I know our people tend to make things look a lot more entertaining from our arguments, from the things that they see on reality TV, but that doesn't mean that it is inherently more flawed than the rest of the world.
Facts.
And it doesn't mean it gives you free range to then come in here and correct things as somebody superior because we don't look up to you. So, yeah, I think these are conversations that needed to happen. I was gonna save it, and I will save it for when G come in here. But I think with G stepping out the way that he did, because you don't see that often. G has been probably one of the most level-headed voices in the midst of all this, and everybody knows his reputation, right? They know they know who Glasses Malone is.
Unless you live
Yeah,
under
you
a
know what I'm
rock
saying? Like,
somewhere, you know how you give it up.
that's never a conversation, and I don't say that to glamorize anything. I just say it because it's the facts can never be disrespect. So I look at that and I say, okay, if he is in a position where he says, nah, enough is enough, I think that he's in a special position of leadership. And what he said at that point in time made me do some self-discovery and some self-searching about could I
Same,
have been doing more earlier? You know what I mean?
same. Talk.
So
Same.
I'm at that place now where I realize a lot of the mentorship that I was receiving sounded like a lot like it was echoing turn the other cheek, take the high road, stay above that, just ignore it. And I'm sorry, I'm sitting here on the 4th day of January in 2026 saying that shit didn't work. If anything, it made them say, if I can get away with that, what else can I get away with?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think certain people think this is a matter of they go to West Coast acting like some fools and da 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 da. This is not even about that. This is about. I had this vision about a year ago, Mr. Mack. I said as I was researching because I've always researched. My pops made sure that I knew about the Black Panther Party. I knew about all of these powerful figures. I used to ask myself, and I asked myself this a year ago. I said, who would I have been if this was set in the '60s?
Mm.
And would I be considered a coward for taking the high road?
Mm.
And excuse my language, that messed me up because I'm
Mm.
at the point where I'm like, I know better. It's not like I'm gonna get out here and make a fool of myself. I know better. I know how to articulate myself, and I do well in many different environments with our people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not using. What was the use of learning all that stuff I learned about Malcolm X if I'm not going to even put it into practice? And I'm sitting here watching all these videos on YouTube. He went and sat down with his enemies, and in his most articulate way,
Mm-hmm.
countered every single point they had.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at it today, and I'm just like, I'm almost embarrassed, not just myself at times, but my peers, where I'm like, as men, I know the folks is in the red pill stuff, and they figuring out their own little tribes, they on their incel stuff. I'm like, where are we at in terms of our natural instinct to be defenders?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And something woke up. Something was woken up in me when I saw G pop out the way that he did, and I felt it in my heart, especially as an older brother of 3 sisters. That's always been my natural default.
Gee, I got three. King, I got 3 sisters.
Do you really?
I got 3 sisters.
Huh?
I got 3 sisters.
Because let somebody say half of that shit wrong, even if they in the
Up,
wrong. Let them say half of what he said.
It's up. You wouldn't even, the tone of voice had the hairs on the back of my neck standing up. Like
Yeah.
every part of that speech. And I'm King, I cannot agree with you more to the point where my self-reflection, the situation triggered me to the point where my self-reflection had me sitting down and going, what kind of man have I been when I've been minding my business, going along to get that in my business?
Right.
What I look like jumping into that's not my business. Leave it alone. Nobody asked you. Nobody asked you. Mind your business. I've been heavy on that. Nobody asked you. Mind your business. But when they start talking, when this one thing just starts repeating itself over and over, and I've been on this for like the last couple days, bro.
I've been watch the tweets. I put the see the posts on Instagram as well. Like,
Can't leave
it,
it alone.
can I tell you, it feels good to see. I don't think the timing of all of this is coincidence. I think it's a spiritual timing from somebody who believes in God. I believe it is a spiritual timing. I feel like whatever anybody believes in, the higher power, I say God. I believe God is calling upon people right now, especially those who I guess would be deemed anointed, to think in a very different way, to see things in a very different way. The reason I can speak with so much confidence is because I see the devil in the people who are trying to slow it down.
Hmm.
I see the devil literally in the people who are like, oh, just they want me to explain culture to them and they hate culture. I'm not explaining nothing to you no more.
No,
Maybe a year ago when I felt like we were defending culture,
you
but
would sit them down and try to walk them
yeah,
through, and
but
you
it was
think it would okay.
yeah,
I
but it
do.
wasn't even from a place of it wasn't even from a place of like it wasn't from a place of I'm going to put you on because I believe you have pure intent. It was from a place of first anger where I'm like, what do you mean you don't know about this? And then I realized sometimes you are educating somebody who has already deemed themselves to be an enemy. And they will use that against you and then say, the last person that says, what culture do you speak of? And you speak about this culture, they take that information and say, oh, you mean the culture where they gangbang out there on the West Coast and they kill each other and they do this and this and that?
Walked in
And
with fucked up intentions.
you end up giving them the ammo to use against you. So I'm
And
at the place now where I'm like, I think one conversation that keeps rearing its head is gatekeeping. And I know there's two different versions of gatekeeping. There's one that on the tail end of when I was coming up was people holding out people who deserve to be in that position so they can keep their own position. That was the negative one. But I think there's another one in that none of us in this stream right now will go to sleep and not lock our doors.
We talked about this.
We protect our homes.
You and
We
I talked
protect
about this.
we protect what we work so hard for and what we continue to work so hard for because it's just human nature.
Mm-hmm.
I'm realizing how much I'm doing a disservice educating one. For one, I may not even be educating a human being. I might be educating a bot, giving some AI bot cultural nuance.
That's a whole other. That's a whole other. That is a whole other level.
So
It's
they
a
don't get that out of me. They don't.
conversation.
They don't get that out of me. I saw a quote today that said, "When you respond negatively to comments, you're positioning yourself to be inside the arena. When you sit back and study the pattern of those comments, you're looking above the arena."
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting in the arena with these idiots.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that they have shown me that they have my best intent in mind, my people's best intent in mind. They don't care about the history. They shit on the OGs. They disrespect the most talented, and they uplift the ones with no talent.
And I think where my personal struggle comes in is where do you draw the line between not wanting to entertain or educate the bots,
Right.
not wanting to step into the arena versus nah, time to fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Time to fight. Time to
I
fight.
think strategy is important. I think being strategic in this moment is so important. And I think that there's certain folks that if you address those people, there's a domino effect, there's a ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
And I think right now, Aiden Ross shows himself to be that person.
Oh, well, he did that a while ago, but
Well,
a lot of us ignored him.
I think recently, though, I think this moment right here, he does. This is where having cultural blinders on, because you got these folks who spend enough time around people who are of the culture and think that that makes them like that stamps their card. Like, oh yeah, I'm good because I hang out with this person. I know this person. I know them on a first name basis.
I can call Whack 100 on the phone.
Yeah, exactly. Because I have these kind of connects, but I think what he's missing and probably doesn't even care about being the age that he is and being what he represents is that there's ebbs and flows. There's a switching of an energy that you cannot put words to, and I don't want to put words to it because I don't want to educate somebody who don't know no better. But there's an energy that I feel like we all pick up on. This is one of the moments. You said the wrong thing. You've said 1,000,001 wrong things, including how you wanted to sleep with your sister, Aiden Ross. But this one, the timing of seeing where the direction of hip hop is going, even in a mainstream sense, with the elevation of the Kendricks, elevation of the Doechiis, elevation of the Clips, elevation of just all these JIDs, JIDs. Like you see these artists that care about their craft and the elevation, and you don't see the switch that is happening because you think it's all just purist talk. But it's spiritually happening. Of course, you're going to be the last one to get that. So now he says something that normally a year ago, oh, this is nothing. But he doesn't see the writing on the wall. Just look at that room for a second, the one where they were dissing him. I made this point earlier. Think about this for a second. There was a point in time where a Tekashi 6ix9ine was a lead story all his own. Going on his gangster tour of calling out different hoods, calling out California, calling out Texas, calling out New York gangsters and all of that, right? He was with the baddest of the baddest. And he was front page news. He's in a room siphoning or combining the efforts of attention with an Aiden Ross, who he himself put butts in seats at one point in time. Still, in streaming does that.
Sure.
When I'm seeing all these collaborations going on, I don't see strength. I see people who are needing to come together to make headline stories, to be the center of attention, to change narratives. That's what I see. So now in seeing that, I'm able to look at it with patience. Even when I did the video that I put up, that was a clip from a live stream, I'm able to look with a patience and realize like, oh, this is the belligerent drunk at the end of the party that realizes the party is over.
It's about you said that one last tantrum.
One last tantrum. And why not make it count? So
cool. Enjoy your last hurrah. If hey, one last shot on the road.
Oh, how many? Hey, Mr. Mac, how many parties you been to? How many club events you been to? Where the end of the night, that one dude that was bothering everybody might have even been bothering one of the homegirls you was with. Somebody just like slide his jaw off at the end of the night, and you're like, oh, "Yep, I saw that coming."
Almost like clockwork, bro. When the slow music starts, you know it's coming. Like, yeah, okay, let's see how long. There it is. He's on the floor, slumped in the bathroom somewhere. Like,
and I'm not advocating violence when I say that, but I'm saying that Malcolm X once said it. He said it in his speech about the Ballad of the Bullet. He said the problem in that time period was that his objection to a certain degree with a Martin Luther King, it wasn't him directly, but just the idea of peace over violence was that violence is a language, peace is a language. And if you were to choose one language like Spanish and talk to somebody who only speaks German, you're going to have a miscommunication because they only understand one language. And I feel like when certain people start talking a language of demasculating the artists, the black men that come through there, of sexism, of belittling this black woman, I think you don't understand what that kind of energy attracts. And I don't even think he realizes he's not just making content. You're speaking in your own form in a violent way, because nobody would take it serious if he was on some gangster shit. That's your version of it, because that is you at your worst.
This is you popping out. This is you hopping out of the drop top and
saying the quiet part real loud.
It's so I'm just gonna keep it a beam with you, bro. When this thing happened, one of the first things I did was get pissed. Irritated is the right word. Then I started checking myself and I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop.
What do you mean when you say you couldn't stop? What was it that you couldn't stop?
I couldn't turn off the switch that told me this is deeper than just some random streamer popping shit about a rapper. Or about an MC, or about a talented woman, or just going off on, like you said, maybe that red pill shit. This is deeper than that. And my brain wouldn't sit still.
Yeah.
And then it got internal. Why is he wilding on her like this? How it turned into, how is he this comfortable wilding out on her like this? Turned
Right.
into, how did I become this comfortable with him wilding out on her like this? And then,
Right.
why am I this? And then it hit me. I'm not comfortable. I'm not okay.
Yeah.
This is not okay. No part of this is okay. And then when you speak about demasculate, how much of a man am I
Hmm.
where I allow this?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you said, going back to when the Panthers were kicking off, what side of the line would I have been on? Spectator watching on the sidewalk? That's fair. If that's what you are, that's fair.
And them people survived. Them
Bro,
people,
which is what it was.
survived for that time, and they lived to tell us about what they saw Huey Newton do. They lived to tell
Facts,
us about it, right? So
facts. But I don't
you
know
chose
if
family. Can't
I
nobody be
don't
mad
know if
about that. So I'm not trying to make people. I'm just saying.
I'm talking about me. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
if
same
I'm
here,
wired
same
like
here. That's
that.
what I'm
Like,
saying. Like I can't help that energy that's flowing. Like I said in the lyric in the song that I did to the Watch the Party Die. I said, who am I in this off-white shell? I could be Huey Newton, huh? Time may tell.
mm-hmm.
Like that if you feel it, you can't, like you said earlier, you can't go to sleep. I can't sleep when I feel like this. It feels like I'm being called upon to do something that sounds completely insane to 90% of my peers.
Well, count me in the 1%.
We there? No, I know we there. That's why you hit me up. I know we there.
For somebody who's never met Doechii, it
Mm-hmm.
feels like I let my little cousin get violated by somebody.
Yeah.
Verbally. It feels like I let it happen. And the person thought me to be so little of a threat, so much of a fucking eunuch, pardon my French.
Mm-hmm.
So much, so little of an issue to deal with, that they felt comfortable doing it right in front of me and expected no kind of repercussion whatsoever. And
No,
every aspect of what happened, including Glasses saying what he was saying, literally sounded like a guy from inside of a guy standing next to me on the sidewalk go, "Hey, you gonna let him talk to your little sister like that? You ain't gonna
yeah.
do shit. Like, really? Seriously? You ain't gonna do that? Move over. I got it." And I'm
Right.
standing there like, why am I? Wait, why am I the guy who's moving over? I should be. I should have been.
Yeah.
And because we dismiss streamers, because we dismiss who we consider harmless, it's easier to just it'll blow over, it'll go away, not understanding that all this time we've been strengthening their position because our silence has been compliance.
Well, they also too have been weaponizing their followings. And I don't think it was until recently did we start to see the foundation that stood on, their whole following, their numbers. We started to see how faulty that foundation actually was. And when you start to identify, well, who's doing that? I think some people, like for me, I wouldn't go at certain people because I'm like, damn it, my timeline's gonna be in shambles. I ain't gonna be able to, get my music off and get my promotion of my show off. But then I started realizing dead internet theory. Most of these people are not people. One. And two, when you actually look at the profile, you realize, oh, these are the people that you have empowered. That's even more reason for me to say the things that I'm saying and be even
Suckers.
louder and
You are the
down
hero.
on that.
You are the hero of suckers. You are the
You are
Superman.
the hero of suckers. So how can I not?
How
Especially if I'm out here
do
talking
you?
that shit in my content, and you talk that shit, and I talk that shit in our content. How, like, it would be out of our nature not to be like this.
You're right. You're right.
But I say that with empathy though, because I understand we're all kind of coming out of our own like zombified stance. Because there was a long period of time where all of us kind of like said, well, I guess it's just the way it is. Let's make the most out of it.
Yeah, basically.
All of us did like that. Like all of us were like, I mean, it's the powers that be. This is the regime that's in office right now. Like we can fight through it with our art, fight through it with our platforms, but the majority is the majority.
We got to deal.
But now I think we're seeing how much we represent the silent majority. And God bless the people that's in here right now, the people that's gonna share it. Y'all are making it a lot easier to I mean, we as men will do this anyways, but y'all making it a lot easier because I haven't had to respond to nobody. My audience been firing these clowns up.
Yeah, mine too. Mine too. I didn't even know. I got people pulling up from a Twitter post, and
Mm.
I didn't think they were looking over there at all. I didn't really go to Twitter that often. And next thing I know, hey Mac, we've been waiting for you to say something. Oh, stop playing. Oh,
Oh
say
yeah,
less. Excuse me. Hold my beer. Like,
yeah,
hold my ginger beer because this is totally happening. I've been chopping at the bit to say something like, bro,
yeah.
I don't
Enough
advocate
is enough.
violence. But this is the kind of talk from a man who has never been smacked in the mouth for saying the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, they have that line, when you're privileged, equality feels like oppression. So the
Yeah,
first
nah.
thing so when we get at him and we equalize this ground, he feels like he's being attacked. And
Yeah.
then you have people jumping to his side. You're only attacking him because he's white. No, no. I'm
No, that
attacking
argument
you.
is tired. That argument is tired. That argument is
Oh,
done with.
I got a couple in the comments right now. And
Done.
this, again, same energy I had when I was dealing with Trap Lord Roars. You're only
Yeah.
getting at him because he's white. You didn't say that to the rappers. My conversation with the rappers is a different talk. I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking to my little nephew. I'm trying to get him on the straight, and I'm trying to get him to chill the fuck out, or at least
Yeah.
do what he's doing smarter. I'm not having that kind of talk with a music executive who I see exploiting our misery, or with a Trap Lord Ross who's out here exploiting our misery,
Mm-hmm.
or with an Aiden Ross who's out here exploiting our misery, or being an ultimate vulture, especially Ross. You want to talk about a vulture? The dude is literally making a living off of talking about death. I don't know how much closer that metaphor can hit home than with that shit. And when I checked him on the shit that I had a problem with, not
Right.
him as a person, just his actions and what I was seeing. The second I did that shit, next thing I know, you don't talk tough to the rappers. You don't talk tough to the rap. So you forgot when we had certain dudes on the show, and I said, bro, why
Right.
don't you stop that? Why don't you chill with that? I'm not trying to confront my people about shit that they're doing that I don't really have any. I can't stop them.
And
But
that's not your place to tell me to check them. You're not even a part of this family.
then
Who,
there's
who are
that.
you?
Then
Who
there's
are you? Who are you? What example have you set for me that I should look at your perspective as superior because you have a large audience? Is that what it is? Because you got money? Like those are the principles that I'm like, I don't think people have been exposed enough to real men.
mm,
Because if they did, they would understand the tone in our voice. They would understand the things that we value. This is not a show. This is not a performance for you. I don't care how many people. I don't need nothing that you have on your side because it's tainted. Mine's is coming. Mine's has been coming. It's been a blessing. I don't want yours because it's tainted. It's the devil in your money. It's not
look
what
at
it's.
the foundation.
I don't want none of that. It's the devil in your cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Clout is a hell of a drug, but you live by the clout token, die by the clout token. Your fame dies by the clout token. And now I think what they're experiencing is, and the thing about it is, do you know why people cannot make this just a race issue? Because there's folks that look like us that are just as bad.
Facts. Facts.
And the thing is, we can't even have side conversations or sidebars with them because they're gonna talk to us like them people that used to talk to them.
All
So
skin
it's
ain't
like,
in.
duh, it's treacherous because sometimes it's like you don't know who's on code until they're tested. And then their true intent comes out and you realize how little of a backbone they have. It's sad.
For the record, anybody watching, just know what Curtiss King just said. That's worthy to end the friendship over.
Oh, easily.
You don't keep making a mistake because you spent a long time making it. That's worth. Oh, that's how you give it up. Oh, okay, heard you. It's
Yeah.
quiet. It's
It's
quiet.
only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before you think that your back's against the wall and you turn on me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't understand it when I was younger. When I had a buddy of mine that was like, I could never be friends or homies with somebody that's a dude that's completely always cheating on his wife. Like I could never do business with him either
Mm-hmm.
because you've shown me that when the conversations get too heavy, you avoid confrontation. That's terrible in business. You've shown me where your loyalty is towards whatever is the easiest thing to get to, whatever is the easy dopamine spike off. Oh, that's how you move. So I'm not saying that to universally about everybody, but I understood now. I understood later why he said what he said. And I think there's a lot of folks, even when we had this conversation about hip hop, I've been feeling lately, you're going to laugh when I say this, I've been feeling lately, hip hop cards, including my own, I have no problem with that. Hip hop cards should be getting checked every 4 years like a DMV driver's license.
Why on earth would I laugh at you saying that?
Well, because it's a funny example, but I'm like, the idea is every 4 years, well, I should say every 4 years, whatever amount of years it is in your state, if you got to take a different driver's test to make sure that you can still drive, why don't we have the same kind of like conversations, even if it's internally amongst our own group? Why don't we have the same conversation like an election? Yeah, like an election. What? Because I'll tell you this, I have never seen so many artists and producers that I have grown up on show their ass like they did last year. It hurts to see the people that I came up looking up to.
Yeah.
And being like, man, I know, I just know like they're the best example of what I like, being inspired only to find out they got to this age and they never had a backbone.
What was that expression my pops told me? You find out your hero has feet of clay.
How do you interpret that? How do you interpret that?
It was a bunch of different ways. As I've gotten older, it's made sense to me in multiple different ways. Feet of clay, scared to move forward. Foundation shaky.
Yeah.
A little bit of pressure, it'll collapse. Not concrete, clay. Doesn't move well. Nothing about him is stand up. The whole foundation is fugazi. Like he would say that to me all the time. You find out your heroes have had feet of clay, and it don't feel good. And at first it didn't make any sense, but now as I've gotten older and I see all these clay-footed fuckers around me.
Not clay-footed fuckers is hilarious. I'm about to use that.
You clay-footed fuckers just. And
you've met everybody. You've met everybody. That's what I like. That's why I hold so much respect, because you've met everybody, and from day one, you've always put integrity first. You've never tried to flex on me. Like, I learned something about myself last year, in that I tend to overgive in gratitude, and that has been a positive, but that's also been a negative, because people have taken full advantage of that, expecting like, oh, I could do this and get away with it.
Sure.
What they didn't realize is that there's another part of myself that I just kind of chilled out on, because I knew if that comes up, it could ruin friendships and relationships. And this year, it's not that I don't give a F. It's that I care more about growing what is happening here, taking care of my family and my peers and the folks that I'm riding with. I care more about that than your disappointment. Mm-hmm. And if we have a moment where we have a real moment, I say something that's really from my heart, and then you say something really from your heart, and we figure out we're incongruent, we're not really compatible, we can stop wasting each other's time.
And it's all good.
So, it's all good. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean I'm going to start talking trash on your talent or trash on the things that you've done for me. Never that.
I'm
grown man. I know people look at, and I think that's the thing. That's why some of these vultures choose hip hop, because they look at the grown men that represent us as children. Maybe not on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level. I think they look at us as children, which is why so many of those voices that are outside the race, outside the culture, come in here and talk down to us, like they're pointing their finger at us and telling us how to be better men.
I've looked at it like the perspective that I've always gotten, being around, being in these rooms and listening to these conversations, I always get the feeling like we're being treated like big cats. When I say big cats, I mean like, what was that kid, the Tiger King, that whole, like, those dudes who run those big animal sanctuaries and have those huge tigers and lions.
Right.
Like, you see the guys walking into the enclosure and just like petting them, and they're fully aware that at any second this thing could freak out and maul them. But it would be a huge freak out, and the cat itself is so not domesticated, that's the wrong word, but it's so content in the moment with the little that it's being given. It's not until those instincts
Mm.
kick in that
Yeah.
tell it this is not right. This is not where I'm supposed to be. My range is supposed to be way outside of this cage. And every couple of weeks or so, every maybe every other week, one of those cats decide that this cage ain't enough and starts pawing at the cage and starts growling at the owner. I don't want this fucking food. I want to hunt.
Right.
I don't want this fucking still one. I want to drink from a fucking river. I
Yeah.
want to run something down. I don't get the fuck away from me. And it turns into one of those. And when
Mhm.
I'm in these rooms, I can often see, hey, before you get upset, here's an endorsement deal. But before you get upset, here's tickets to a game. You like
Yeah.
that, don't you? Hey, here's enough money for a new car. Hey, here's
Mm.
enough money for a big house.
Yeah.
Here's a bunch of beige-looking broads who all love you. Let me just put you in a room full of them.
Right.
And it always feels like we're just being handled like domesticated
Mhm.
apex predators that everyone in the room knows if this thing really wanted to get out, we'd have to put him down. Because we
Yeah.
really couldn't stop him any other way. We'd have to put him down.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I've always gotten. And Curtis, there are a lot of reasons why I wasn't allowed back in those rooms. I've said things, I've done things that have had
Same.
me put out of the rooms where all those things are happening. Maybe I
Yeah.
growled once or twice. Maybe bro, I'm not doing that. That's sucker shit. No, that's some
Mhm.
fuck shit. I'm not doing it. Yo, bro, are you really gonna do that? Seriously? Oh, all right, bro. I catch y'all later. And the invites don't show up anymore. And
Yeah.
I think moving forward, like anybody else, you start thinking about maybe if I just mind my business,
Mm.
leave it alone, man. I want to get along. I want success. I want to see, I want a fan base. Maybe I'd like to
Right.
be. I like for things to
We do
not.
have wants. Like we do have things we're working
Yeah,
towards. We didn't do
bro.
all this shit
I got
for our
a
health.
family I want to take care of. I'd like to send my mother on vacation. There's things
Right.
I'd like to do. Or how about this? How about even without what you could label luxuries, right? Even without the luxuries. How about maybe I just don't want to fight every day.
Yeah. See, that's a
Maybe,
big
maybe,
one.
maybe I
That's a
just want to take this off, like this
that's
chainmail jacket
huge.
I got on, and this I maybe I just want to take this off and feel normal for a day or two. And I'm starting to realize maybe this whole thing has got me realizing that may not be my place.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the burden that I'm supposed to carry. Maybe Glasses yelling at Aiden Ross felt like an accusation to me. And
Mm.
to me, not to
Yeah.
him. It
Yeah.
felt like he was barking at me. It felt like the fact that he was standing on business made me feel like a sucker.
Mm.
It
Mm.
made me feel like I was stepping away from my post. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. The
Right.
legit make as someone who has been positioned as a gatekeeper, the
Yeah.
real kind, which is why anytime you've ever seen me online, I'm dropping fire emojis on somebody dope. I'm
Mhm.
throwing salutes at a producer who really did it. I'm on a live. I'm checking somebody's live stream and leaving emojis and bigging up all the good shit. Because my whole thing was, I'm not bringing any attention to the negative shit. I'm gonna ignore the negative shit.
Same.
I'm only gonna big up all the fly shit. And
Same.
maybe that's not what I'm supposed to be doing out here all the time. Maybe on my days off, I'm supposed to be choosing violence.
Yeah, but
Maybe that's my day off.
and to your point, like, I feel at 1010% because we got to fill up too. Like in order, like I remember my homie that was like I was on my black pride, he was on his brown pride, and my nickname was Panther back in high school when I was around him. And
Oh,
he'd be
that's
like,
great.
he'd be like, man, he'd be like, that's why when he sees me in this mode, he like, I'm so glad you got out that PC mode because he's like, this is the one I know. He
Mm,
said even the revolutionaries had barbecue cookouts. And those were the times for celebration. Those were the times to celebrate while we around each other. Like we really are just like we have to recharge.
mm,
But I'll tell you this. what you said about every day you don't want to fight, right? And there's already enough going on to where even when you see the way that the thing that you came up loving, the way that it gets disrespected on a regular basis, the way that they drain it of all of its value, the way that they have played around in our face with people that they know are just going to denigrate this, don't give a damn about it. They literally are saying it in interviews. I don't really give a F about this rap shit. And it's like, dog. And these are the millionaires of our time. Not to say that that
Mm,
justifies for something, but you look at that, and after a certain point, it's like, why am I working this goddamn hard
mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
to watch? But it's never from a place of jealousy. It's always from a place of, okay, so then I'm walking the righteous path.
Right.
But what comes along with that? It's not. I'm not doing it because I want the rewards, but I mean, there's something that has to. When do I get? When does somebody shoot
Yeah.
me some bail for the work
Yeah.
that I?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I tell you, this is what I've seen, especially in this last year, is that, man, it's almost like the story in the Bible about the Jubilee year. Like when it's that time, you will get your blessings overflown. There's so many opportunities that I came up in the last few weeks that I would have done everything to say yes to. I just don't believe in them anymore. And now I'm looking at what I'm building, and I've never had so much confidence in it. But I'm shooting you some bail. I'm shooting me some bail because you're right. I felt the same way. I was like, damn, what have I been doing? A lot of it's been programming though, too. A
Yeah.
lot of
True.
this has come with consequences. If we speak the way that G spoke a year ago, 2 years ago, we get deplatformed, we get demonetized, right? The business meeting that we had on the table, and maybe it looks a little bit
Evaporates.
different. We take away our leverage, right? And
Mm-hmm.
for the people, and then what about the people like our family that didn't choose to go on this fight with us, right? Not willingly, at least. So I think about all these factors, and I'm like, yeah, that's a factor. But now, when you feel it and you know it's time, you have a choice of whether or not to do something about it. And I feel like you and I both are at that point where you're using your platform, I'm using my platform, and I'm excited about this year and actually getting back outside because we
Same.
can do that. By the way,
Same.
we can do that. We can go outside. You know, them folks over there can't they can't go outside without the diesel security guards. We can actually go outside. People like us.
In real
They're
life.
excited. In real
Real
life, they're excited
people.
to see us. You know,
Nothing virtual about it. In
I'm
real
virtual
life.
about it. So I'm excited to get out here and do shows. I'm excited to work on music with you. You know what I'm saying? All of this stuff that we've already talked
You
about. But
can't
this is
threaten
the
me
thing.
with a good time. That's not
Come
how
on,
that
man.
works.
They can't do this part. And it started to make me realize this is the part that messed me up. And I wonder if you had the same experience. And I used to ask G about this. I'm like, dog, I feel like some of these people that are richer than me, some of these people that seem to have every blessing in the world are doing things that are giving me the energy that they're jealous of me for some reason. And it doesn't make any sense to me, G. And he's like, that's because what you think is wealth is a very different definition for them because they already have that in finances.
Mm-hmm.
What you may have from the love from your wife, what you may have with the way your son looks at you, the amount of time that you can spend with your son, the amount of time that you spend with music, the audience that you've built off of being authentic, the audience that you've built that trusts you in your word, and you're able to have these conversations anytime you want. For some people, they look at that and be like, "You don't deserve that. I deserve that because I'm me. I'm this person."
Mm-hmm.
Then it dawned on me. I was like, it's not looking. It's not me looking down, looking up as much as it is you don't know what the dynamics are until you meet the person behind the title. And that's what just got me to the point now where I treat everybody. My mom used to say this: you treat the person valeting your car with the same respect as the CEO who owns the building.
It doesn't pay to do it any other way.
Doesn't
It's
pay to
not.
do
It's not.
anything.
It's not worth doing it the other way. It never has been, and I know because I've been the guy valeting the car,
Yeah.
and I've been the guy who's in charge of the building. I've been
Yeah.
I've danced every dance there is, and I've never had the issues that I see these dudes complain about. The misery that comes with their success.
Yeah.
But I notice power of observation, being a fly on the wall, being the guy who's valid. I've noticed that it's all self-inflicted.
In what way?
Really,
I agree with you, but in what ways?
it's. the ways are as vast as the individual, right? It's you get a bunch of different people picking their poison. Some people have alienated themselves from their people to the point where they can't go home.
Mm,
Some
yes.
people have the attitude of entitlement has disgusted them to the people who are around them. So you're super successful, but bro, we can't stand you. Like nobody wants to. We're literally working with you because we don't have the option. We can't find
Yes.
anyone better. And while that sounds like you're the ultimate, it sounds really dope. I'm so
Mhm.
dope that I can be an asshole and they have to come fuck with me because nobody does it better. That sounds good
Mhm.
until you realize that, and this is something I've learned. And I'm laughing because I remember these examples. I I I remember seeing the first time sitting in on a meeting, the first time a very specific artist's name came up, and there was kind of like a universal groan in the room.
Mm.
Like there were one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. There were like maybe 8 or 9 of us all together, and this
Right.
person's name came up from the guy running the meeting who was out of the loop. So he's asking everybody, and when his name came up, there was kind of a oh fuck, like everybody in the room kind of did that, like an overlay of that
Right.
groan. And then the people who groaned, rapid fire started tossing out other names.
Mm.
And it occurred to me, yo, if they can find, they will take a little less talent
Mhm.
to rock with somebody that they actually like
Yeah.
versus doing it the best way possible with the
Yeah.
best guy possible, and he's a complete dick to everybody around him. Like they will do that. And once I saw that, I said,
Mhm.
"Oh, uh, because I've been on both sides of that call for different reasons. I've
Yeah.
gotten the call because maybe I wasn't the highest profile guy, but I get along with everyone. I'm cool. I
Mhm.
don't say shit
Mhm.
behind somebody's back. I don't say to their face. I'm a
Mhm.
professional. I get the thing done, and it's gonna be quality work. I've also not gotten that call and had somebody called had the adjacent guy called
Mhm.
because I'm not gonna kiss ass. I'm not.
Mm.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna jump through hoops. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
act like a flying monkey. I'm not gonna embarrass myself. I'm going to tell you when you're full of shit. I'm going to
Yes.
stop you from yelling and barking at that intern girl whose job it is to do X, Y, and Z, but not go get you a sandwich, not go do this, not
Mhm.
hand you another bottle of liquor. Like, I'm going to say something about shit like that. You don't want me around for those reasons. And when I realize that I'm not being included in these rooms because of principles, morals, standards, call it whatever you want, respect,
Mm.
dignity, honor, whatever you want to.
Professionalism, all that, yeah.
When I realized those are the rooms I wasn't welcome back in, cool. But the people who were welcomed in, I saw the misery on them. All of them.
Mm.
I saw the misery in the guy who was not invited back up, even though he was the best person for the job, and he was a dick.
Right.
I saw him miserable, a cage of his own making. And then I saw the guy who was invited instead of me to a situation. I realized he was like the mascot of a room full of suckers. Like a room full of people who I would rather not be around. You are their mascot. You're like their poster child. They just think
Yeah.
you're a hero. And I'm not him. I am
No.
not the hero of a bunch of people who talk down to folks, who bark on people, who
Mhm.
get at women or get at artists the way Aiden Ross got at Doechii, which is one of the things that had me so fired up. Bro, I'm not this guy, so how am I quiet?
Yeah,
I've never.
but you know what's also something you just brought up that had me thinking, like, I think part of the reason why we have always been able to stay on point is because we've had elders or we've had mentors that was like, "Don't do that again." Like I got one right now that's a mentor for me, and he saw me have a moment online years and years ago, and he was like, Feel good after doing that? I say, yeah. He said, no, you can't let that happen again, right? Oh, my thing is this. Aiden Ross said all that shit he did and called whack. Like that's really his OG. If that was his OG, he wouldn't have to call whack. Whack would be calling him. If that's really your no, that's your business partner. It's not your OG. Thinking that you could say whatever you want to say, and then he would shoot you some bail and a lifeline, as if for some reason you think that you have a better relationship with him than a whack has with the Glasses of the world, or the folks that he's been affiliated with for years.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the same dynamic. You're not in that. Matter of fact, it's folks like you that people look for, allegedly, to extort because they know what you're there for. You're not there because you add any kind of cultural value. You're not there because you have any kind of insight that makes you valuable. Like, no, that's not what it is. You here because it's just that's the time period. You got an audience, and it's something that they can leverage for their own businesses and their own artists. Look, I don't justify it. I get it. There's a lot of things I could get, but never do for myself. And right. You said it earlier. It's now getting eerie how different, but how similar our journeys have been, because what you just described about being in those rooms and saying too much to the point where you thought that you were bringing value to the room, and it ended up threatening an A&R, threatening someone who was like, that's my job. That happened to me as a producer. I would get in these rooms and they think like, oh, you just make the music, like you make the beats. And I would ask questions about rollouts. I would ask questions about social media presence. I would ask questions that are like, wait a minute, wait. You sound like one of us. I never got invited back in those rooms.
No.
My first check for beat placement.
Mm-hmm.
I had to call somebody to call a middleman for me to get paid. And it was a major label situation. And I was like, is this going to be life for the rest of my career? Mm-hmm. It's these kind of moments that happen where you're thankful for the opportunity, but you're also thankful for the lesson that you learn, and that you say, this is not how I see life. There's an author named Tim Ferriss, and he said one of the most brilliant things about what you do in terms of your professional life. He said, first, choose the lifestyle that you want. Mm-hmm. Do you want to work? Do you want to be able to relax, in the mornings and be able to work at night? Do you want to work at night or you want to work in the morning and relax at night? Mm-hmm. Pick the lifestyle first. It's a book called The 4-Hour Work Week, and that stuck with me. And I started to realize, Mr. Mac, I don't like these late night studio sessions for other people's music that I don't believe in. I don't like driving from LA 2 or 3 hours to come back to the Inland Empire, barely staying awake, making music that is purely transactional for somebody else to look good and for me to hardly even get credit on. That doesn't sound like the man that my pops raised. I didn't go to these places to be strategically quiet, because Curtis can't be quiet. That was something that was pitched to me. Curtis, man, it's not about not knowing. You just got to be strategically quiet in these rooms so that you don't offend the wrong person. And when I really want to say he's a bitch, if I got to be strategically quiet and tiptoe around eggshells around your ego because you can't stand somebody else in the room knowing more than you. I know people like abide by the don't outshine the master in the 48 laws. Like, I get the principle, but that's not something that set well with me because I was raised to be a leader. My pops used to tell me every day before he went to school. My pops looked like Lawrence Fishburne in Boys in the Hood, by the way. He was like, I remember he came into my classroom one time. Somebody said, hey, who ordered Malcolm X? And he walked in the room. I said, that's my dad. Oh, Lord, I'm in trouble. My pops used to tell me when he dropped me off, he said, wait. Yeah. Somebody said, hey, who ordered a Malcolm X? And my pops walked in. I said, hey, that's funny. Who is? Oh, shit.
I just need a second.
I said, oh, shit. Shout out to Curtiss Middle School. Yeah, that was Curtiss Middle School because we had a substitute teacher named Mr. Peterson that all the kids was bullying. He was like the only white substitute teacher there, and they gave him hell. I gave him a little hell too, but they gave him hell. And my pops came in there, and he was like, he needed to see what's going on. My pops looked like spitting image. He had the glasses like Malcolm X, all that. And somebody said, oh, who ordered a Malcolm X? I said, oh, that's funny, man. shit.
Hey, Dad.
Up, and sat right behind me, and I could feel his eyes burning in my neck. But like those kind of examples are the reason why I can't be docile in these rooms. But the question is, okay, Curtis, if you're not going to be docile, and this is the music industry where you got to eat shit for a long time before you can start talking shit, that's the nature. What you going to do? That led me to independence. That led me to DIYing because I said, I spent too much time. God and gave me a God-given talent with my words, with my music, with my keys. I can't just stop. And so I went and built it on my own, and it took a lot longer than it would have took going the other traditional route. But the autonomy that I got today, I do it. I wouldn't say that. I'm about to say I do it in 40 years. No, I wouldn't. I do it in the amount of time I did. About 20 some years. I take that for this amount of autonomy.
If you knew then what you know now, you'd have started sooner.
I would have started sooner. I wouldn't even blinked an eye at the industry. Right. You know, the me getting a placement with a young Kendrick Lamar on an Ab Soul project off a beat. That was my first beat on FL Studio was not, that was God. That wasn't me I'm just engineering this. That was God, because that launched so many opportunities professionally that assisted what I was doing musically. But that opened up the door to working with a Glasses Malone. That opened up the door with working with a Problem, a Jason Martin. That opened up the door working with all that opened up the door to me being part of League of Stars with Ace Pun. Like shout out to Ace Pun, he's killing it right now on streaming. I used to be one of his producers on League of Stars. So like, I'm glad that I went that route, but I also realized there was a voice inside my head that said, "You got to move. The window's closing. If you don't do something about it, maybe this doesn't happen today. Maybe I'm not talking to you today."
I think you just made me remember one of the rooms I got put out of had to do with a producer and his check. The check was written. It was right there. And one of the dudes said something to the equivalent of, well, you know, maybe he don't get this till next week or next month. And we could probably get a couple more tracks out of him, and then we'll, you know, just then maybe we turn this over. And I was like, is it in the budget? My naive ass, is it in the budget to get more beats out of him? Like, you know, had enough trouble getting him this check. Like, how you? I don't know if it's in the budget, fellas. And I'm looking at I don't think it's in the budget to get like what he's charging. It's fair, but I don't know if we can afford 3 more.
Yeah.
Nah, Mac. You gotta understand. Like, you know,
you gotta understand. Famous last words.
By the time he get this one, he gonna be so happy. Like, you know, just holding. If you hold him out and you keep him hungry, you know, hungry dogs work harder, or something like that.
Dogs work harder, Lord. That's a quote. It's a quote though.
And I remember going, you know, that's his money though. You know, that's his money. And they would say a bunch of shit and I would rotate back around, but you know, that's his money.
Right.
We already got the beat. That's his bread, bro. Nah, I'm just trying to get some extra work and pay him extra money.
Yeah.
And now I'm standing there and there's 4 of us in the room. 1 dude quiet, 2 dudes cackling, laughing at me. And that's his money though. Like, what? How is this even a discussion? And not wasn't lost on me the fact that I was one of the guys who suggested him for this project. I was one of the guys who say, "Yo, if we go holler at Son, he got heat." I heard a couple of joints from him. Like we could. I think he could button this project up and give us the kind of look, the kind of sound we're going for to tie this whole thing together. And we only got 1 from him. We only got 1 because another all-star producer stepped in and kind of like took the reins, and they used a lot of the budget on that guy. Still managed to get this 1 thing from this dude, and it was shaping up to be like the 3rd or 4th single. If we got that far in, it would have been like the 3rd single.
Right.
And you know, they were like, well, you know, we could probably get a couple more out of him. We just hold off on this check. And I'm like, but bro, the beat's been submitted. It not only was it submitted, it was sample free, completely mixed and mastered. Like it was in the sequence, the title. We had all the paperwork, everything was done. And they talking about, well, you know, we just hold on to it, and, you know, just asking for a couple more would probably
And then you end up people. I think that's something that gosh darn it said in the comments. Now you're the bad guy. If something goes left because you brought him in that situation, now he putting there's a possibility if he doesn't know the actual business of it, he's looking at you like, man, you like just like one of them.
Yeah. But I'm gonna keep it solid with you, Curtis. I wasn't thinking about it that far in. I didn't think about that till after the fact. All I could think about right then and there was that's his money, though.
That's his money.
Like that's his bread. I know this guy. Like he's got kids. That's his money. And I really didn't. My mindset didn't go. My train of thought didn't go any. That was the last stop. But that's his. I ended up taking the check, walking out. I was like, I'll give it to him. I got it. No. Hold up. I got it. No problem. Don't worry about it. I got it. I was
down with y'all.
I was downstairs in the car. It was like my phone was blowing up. Like, yo, did you leave out with the check? Yeah. I'm drop that off. I'm about to see him in a minute. I got it. No problem. Hung up the phone before they could say anything else. And I gave it to him. And it was already maybe, this is years ago, but I want to say we might have been like 2 weeks past when we said he was going to get it. And they were just starting the hoop jumping process. And I was, no, don't worry about it. I got it. And I went and gave it to him. Went back the next day. They were like, yo, you took that check?
Yeah. I took it to its owner.
I ain't cash it.
I didn't do nothing legal with it. I just gave it to the person that it was legally for, the person whose name is on that check.
Yeah, I ain't cash it. I was like, don't worry about it. He got it. And I'm trying to front like, don't worry. He got it. I made sure he got it. Don't, I know you fellas are worried about him getting paid. Don't worry. I got it.
That's what it's all about. This is all about him getting paid, right?
I understand. You're right to be concerned, but I know you had to work with me before, but don't worry about it. I hooked it up. I took care of it.
I hand delivered it. I know the mail sometimes can get a little bit tricky.
Why pay for a certified anything? I can take it.
Just hand it. I saved you guys money. That's what I did. I saved you money.
I know not everybody wants to go over to that part of town. It's no problem. I'll take care of it. And I fronted on it like that for like another 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks, and then we wrapped the project up. And I had somebody tell me, you don't know how this game go. And I said, nah, you don't know how I go.
Yeah, that's the big part.
You don't know how I go. I'm not fucking with that. Like the jokes were over by then. You don't know how this game go. I said, nah, you don't know how I go. I'm not doing none of that shit. Like in the next time, and I this was probably where I went too far, but I said the next time you involve me in some fuck shit like that, it won't end the way you want it to.
Yeah.
Just don't fuck with me like that. Like whatever else you do, don't play with me like that. Don't do that. Don't play in my fucking face. Don't do no shit like that. When I'm around, you keep that shit for somebody else. But next time you do some shit and it's on me, this won't end well. And I just did that.
It's a slap in the face because what will possess you, knowing the character that I have exhibited, knowing the character and the man that I am and that I've been, what would make you think that I'd be okay with that fuck shit?
Which is exactly my point. What about me told you that I would be okay? What did you smell sucker on me when you came around? Like what
that's more insulting than actual offense now. Now I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. You are building very permanent perspectives on incomplete information.
You thought I was like that. You thought I was like that.
Just like you. Yeah.
Thought I would, and I don't know what you smelled on me. Egyptian must don't give off, sucker. I don't know what you thought this was, but like you really thought that my integrity was, and my you thought my father's son was wired to do that shit.
They don't understand that voice. That voice doesn't go away. Like my father's voice does not go away. It takes on a different power now because it's now my voice that I hear. But he was the first train conductor. He was the first one conducting it. Like there'd be times where like little things like if I'm throwing away trash and I miss the basket and I want to walk away, I know you ain't finna leave that trash on the floor. I would hear him. He ain't even in the room. I would hear him, Mr. Meck. Let me tell you, I think those moments that you just described are so powerful because it lets you see a reflection of who you are, even in this environment that maybe you had been working to get to, and you realize how different you are. Let me give you a really prime example of that. One of my first placements, I knew one of the producers that also was on that same project, and we were excited. Like, man, we got placements on this project. I'm excited. And he called me, and he was like, man, yeah, like, I think you got track 5 and I got track da 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 da. And then and I was like, yeah, man, it's even better that I finally got my check in this situation. He was like, you got paid?
Mm.
My heart dropped. My heart dropped because I was like, I didn't know what to tell him. This is, like I said, this is one of my, it wasn't the Glasses one. It's another project because people know in my book, I always talk about Glasses being my first place, but it wasn't that one. It was one of my first placements, and my heart dropped. And then I started to realize how common this was of how producers got treated, at least in these rap circles in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And that also, ironically, was around the same time I got a placement with Van Skateboarding Company.
Oh.
And that came off of just a relationship that I had of a friend that was living in Carson, and she was like, yo, you dope. You didn't work with Absol. I want to come show you this opportunity. And she took me down to her job, which it was a video editing company that was hired by Vans. Went down there, shook hands with everybody, and I took some video, whatever. Wasn't thinking too much of it. And they tell me, hey man, just give us some music, and we'll see about putting it in a video. They put it in one of these Van Skateboarding downtown showdown at Paramount Studios that they did it, right? It's like a big ass skate event.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my money. It wasn't no 90 days, 30 days. I got my money the next week after the video came out. The amount of fighting I had to do for money that was less than what I got paid by them opened my eyes. So just the contrast of talking to that producer that said, you got paid? And then going to this Van situation and realizing there's other places there that money is generated through sync opportunities. There's other places to generate income. You don't got to deal with the nonsense, but it comes down to you. But do you, that placement is very quiet. When you get a big name on your beat, it's a little bit different. It comes with extra.
It's a little louder. Yeah.
Loud. But I got to a point where, thank God I was able to work with the folks that I have worked with. But I got to a point where I was talking to people who were fans of the beats that I produced for their favorite artists, and I realized they got more money in their pocket than I did. I realized I'm talking to them, and they're big upping me, not knowing that I can barely afford the drink in my hand.
To be here. Yeah.
Be here was a struggle. To get gas to get here was a struggle. And that's when I realized, like, how many people are okay with having a Grammy and not having a vehicle. Are they okay, not having a roof over their head, but everybody knows them because of their musical prowess? And I'm not shitting on nobody working towards a goal. What I'm saying is, in La La Land, some of this shit just didn't make any sense to me, because I was like, what do you mean you don't have it?
It shouldn't be like that, though.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm talking to producers that got #1 records on 106 in Park that are talking to coworkers and saying, that's my beat. And he said, it ain't your beat, because why would you be here?
Here.
There's only so many signs you can show men of integrity before they start making integrity-based decisions. That was one of them, was to walk away from that industry. For me, at least I was designed out here. I had to, because it was not aligned, and I knew I was going to eventually hurt somebody in this business.
Perfect segue. Calvin Campbell just asked me, Mech, do you find it hard to work with people like that again? The answer is no. No, because when I know what a snake is going to do, when I know what the moves are, and the thing is, when it comes to people who are Calvin, this is just, when it comes to people who rock like that, they don't have a large repertoire. I find that the repertoire is very limited. Like, there's a handful of things they'll do paperwork-wise. There's a handful of things they'll do personally. There's a handful of things they'll do in the boardroom. But once you've seen them, you've seen them. So it's not difficult for me to work with them. I know what's coming. I've danced this dance before. I know how this movie ends. The black guy dies first. It's difficult for them to work with me, knowing that I know the tricks. Now we can get the job done. We can get the job done. It's normally the shit that happens before the job starts or after
Mhm.
the job is over is normally where the fuck shit comes in. Me being a professional, I just cover my bases and I don't make it difficult. I don't make it easy for anybody to fuck with me, to bullshit me. It's not easy to do that. I know the tricks. But working with them, no problem, because this is business and it's not personal. And at this
Yeah.
point, thankfully, my reputation precedes me. I don't have a lot of I wonder if I can't. No, I know better than you know better. Let's not. There was a time when I catch somebody saying in a cookie jar, and it was kind of like, okay, I got you. Let's just. All right, I caught you. Like
I got
let's.
you. I see you. I see
Yeah,
you right
all right, come on, little sailor, little gentleman's wave, and we just go on.
right.
Now, when something like that happens, it's like, now why would you do that? Why would you do that?
You know what I
Now,
compare it to? You know what I compare it to? That episode of Fresh Prince when he went to the pool hall and he got hustled. And then he brought back Uncle Phil to win his money back. I think we are our own Uncle Phils. You go through the industry first as the naive Will Smith and Carlton, like, oh, I can beat anybody at pool. And then you get hustled by a true pool hustler.
yeah, a
You know what I'm
shark.
saying? Like a pool shark. And then you go get Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil show you some things like, oh, hitting shots from. I feel like that's what maturity brings. I feel like that's what awareness brings. This is also why I think anybody who's in the industry needs to have a basic understanding of the 48 laws of power. Because although you may look at some of these things and say, oh, this is evil, this is not, I could never live like this. For your protection, you
Yeah,
better know what you're up against,
yeah.
because there's a reason these books like that got banned in prison.
It's
You need
manipulation.
to understand the beast you're dealing with. Because, like, as you said, now if you put, it's funny, I had to go through that emotional journey in the industry and deal with some other devils over here in the plug-in companies when they come to me trying to offer me pennies for my work. I'm like, no, partner. I know. Come on, now. I know this dance.
And then the cookie jar.
And like, what are we doing? My thing is, you think I don't have relationships with other people in this industry to know what you offer them? Why are
They're
you
hoping.
lowballing
They're
me?
hoping you don't. They're
Hope.
hoping you don't. They hope you don't. They're hoping you don't. And when they find out that you do, then all of a sudden it turns into like it.
Yeah.
Thankfully, my experience has been, all right, you got me. All right, cool. Here's the real.
You got me.
Yeah, you got. All right, okay, Mac. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Here's,
Just don't tell nobody. Just don't tell nobody. All right. I do.
you know what? Now double it for being a dickhead.
Double it. Ooh.
Now double it. That's what I'm doing. You want me to keep it? Double it.
Yeah.
Don't play with me again. Like next time, I'm gonna break your jaw. Stop playing with, like, bro. Stop playing with me. It's not. I'm not asking for a lot, but knock it off. Come on now. You know better than that. Now double it. Now put extra on it just for being a dick.
That's why I say some situations are not about burning bridges. They're about doubling the toll fee. Hey, you showed your ass.
It's not.
And you know you did. And you know I know you did. But you're good at what you do. And you're one of the best. However, because you showed your ass last time, this is the price. I'm not budging from it. You see my value, and I know you see the value in this conversation. Don't even worry about it. This is the new price, though. And watch how quickly most of these people will pay.
Yes. Gosh damn it, that's a bar. You're right. He needs to put that shit on shirts ASAP. That's one of them ones. But what some of you may not know is that when it comes to these words, Curtiss King is one of them ones. Don't let that production talk fool you. Like, this man get on the mic and act a fool. Act a whole donkey. This man show more ass.
Because I got shit to talk about. Like, you know how many times I sat in the room with a rapper and I was like, "You are trash," and not because I was hating, because I was like, "You got me over here working like I'm the man that get the coffee. You talking to me like I'm less than a human being."
Are you having that conversation, Curtis? Are you talking to me right now, Curtiss King?
No, I ain't talking to you. I'm talking about the people that I've been in studios with over the years who was like putting me in the corner like, you a beat maker. Go. That's why it's funny. I got a character that's called Sus Bunny. He's every industry producer I ever met balled into one.
That is hilarious.
He got these glasses and he talks like this. And he says, I don't listen to beat makers. Sit down over there and get my coffee. Like, that's the person that they have. So when I get to talking shit on records, I got a lot to say because I know rappers so well because so many of them are amazing human beings. Some of them are shitty human beings, but the amazing human beings that I have met are the ones that I'm still to this day able to call, and we can politic. I can give all of that. But damn it, these folks, man, it's some of these folks that I'm like, they ain't got a lick of talent, but they got all the arrogant sliders on 2K at the top. You know what the craziest part about it? It be the people that you think are gonna be assholes because of how popular they are, because of how famous they are, end up being the coolest in the world. That messed me up.
Yeah,
because I'm like, I know you ain't finna get back to me. I know this text message is gonna be 2 weeks from now, and these folks being the ones that end up being like, say less. Let's do it next week.
I gotta. Nipsey was like that for me. And I blew it. Nipsey is one of my biggest regrets in this business. I met him when he was rocking with Shipes and Q the Question and I don't want to forget his name. My man from Harlem. The Kush God. Oh God, how am I forget? I'm looking you right in the face, bro, and I can't remember your name, and I don't want to move past this story until I get your name right. I'm gonna look it up. It's gonna come to me. Kush God. Y'all help me in the comments, y'all, if y'all know who I'm talking about. My man from out of Harlem, and he's my guy too, and I'm blanking. But I met him back then, and me and Nipsey always had good energy. He would come to New York. Hey, what's up? What's going on, Killer? What's up? Yo, come to the stew. Blah blah blah. Pull up on him, and he started really blowing up.
You talking about Smoke Dizzle?
Smoke Dizzle.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. I know it's one of them names. I know it's gonna be one of the names where it's like, oh yeah, it happened to me all the time. Smoke Dizzle. Yeah.
Why that was bothering me because Smoke is the homie. Diz is the homie. Super cool ass nigga, highly talented.
Yeah.
That would have bugged me for the rest of the night.
I know the feeling. I got you.
Smoke Dizzle. And it was Smoke, Shipes, Johnny Shipes was running it, and I met a young Nipsey Hussle, Smoke Dizzle, and Q the Question. And as Nipsey kept going and kept pursuing, every time he would come back to New York, we'd get a phone call in, we'd chop it up. Always a good dude. I only came to the studio once. And as he started to climb higher and higher, I backed off of our friendship. Like I didn't call him, I didn't check in. Like I, just see something funny, say something stupid. I stopped doing all of the above.
Yeah. And
he checked me one time, like one of the last few times I saw him, he checked me. Like, man, you don't fuck with me. You don't. I was what you mean? Nah, you don't fuck with me. You don't be hitting me. How come you don't say nothing? How come I gotta come to New York to talk to you? I gotta come out. That's what it is. I gotta be out here to hear from you. And I was like, man, it ain't like that.
Right.
It was like that because I didn't want to be seen as somebody who was on him because he was famous. I was so worried about what it looked like, I forgot about what it actually was.
Yeah.
And when I found out he got killed, yo, bro, the first thing I did was run to my phone and call him. It was like, yo, I just heard some wild shit, bro. Hit me back.
Man.
I just heard something crazy. Hit me back, bro. Hit my line, please. And I might have hit him like one more time after that first one. And like when the news came down and CNN was announcing it and shit, my heart was that shit broke my heart in so many different ways because I let the friendship go. You know what I mean? Because I was so worried about looking like a groupie or maintaining the integrity of being the music editor at the Source magazine, because I was so into keeping the separation of church and state, I didn't allow myself to get cool with people who were really cool. Yeah. And meanwhile, I was forced into business relationships with motherfuckers I couldn't stand.
Yeah.
But I didn't want anybody saying, "Oh, I'm showing favoritism. Or I'm doing this." The Source already had a lot of controversy around it when it came to playing favorites and the extra mic and all those stories. So me as being a music editor, my whole thing was, not trying to relive that story. I got to do this the right way. So keep my arms distance from niggas and make sure I keep it professional. Nipsey was never on that kind of time. He was happy to let the music speak. He was happy to let his talent speak. He was never on that kind of time. And I totally let the friendship collapse. And that was one of my, when you say regrets,
Yeah.
that's one of them, because he was a real genuine dude. And I literally hit him with the Heisman just because I didn't want it to look like blah, 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 blah. And
Sure.
that was the stupidest. I understand why I did it. But looking back, if I could have those days back.
Hearing you say that though, I will say the flip side of it is I don't think he would have pressed that issue with you had he thought that your character was anything else except for what it actually is. Like, I feel like the reason why he even presses that is because he's like, please affirm that you are the character and the man that I believe you to be. I don't think he does that with people that Complex Magazine that was calling him the most underwhelming or the most disappointing rapper of our generation. Like, I don't think he's doing that with them and being like, I thought we had a rapport, and he ain't doing that with them. And that was the reality of it, is that so many people who revere him now, and it's funny. Ironically, he's up here on the wall right there. That's a painting that an amazing painter made of him. But when he was here, and it's crazy because I felt like LaRussell was starting to get some of that energy too. When he was here, he was disrespected for his audacity. Who the hell are you to put out $100 album?
Word.
Who are you? Like this nigga from the West Coast? You're going to always be a West. I remember all of that ridicule, and I didn't understand it because I was like, do you understand what he's doing is having a ripple effect on all independent artists?
That's part of the reason why they did it. That's why they went after his audacity, because they can't have one slave teaching the rest of them how to read.
Yeah.
You got to nip that shit in the bud early, and it did not. Okay. Another thing I was always worried about getting too close to artists is, what if they drop a project that's trash and I have to say,
I gotta tell them the truth.
Right.
Well, I think a Nip would have appreciated that, because he had folks like DJ Head around who
don't have no kind of fucking filter. No. But that, Curtis, that's what I'm saying. That only adds to the regret. You dig what I mean?
I'm not trying to hammer that home, but I get your point.
He wouldn't have been on it like that. He would have understood if I had to say, yo, Killer, this one wasn't necessarily, this one here, this one here, this one, and I could have done that. And I think he would have appreciated it. And I think I blew it. I know I blew it.
But Mech, I'm gonna say this: he's 1 percentile of the folks that you come in contact with on a regular basis. That if you tell them that, they're gonna forever have a vendetta that they'll never tell you about because they don't want to kill it.
Oh,
you know how these folks, bro. Like he is such a rarity. Because like even with me, I met him 2 times. The second time, I'm gonna tell you what, it wasn't a positive situation. I understand now why. First time I met him, shout out to my mentor, OG Murs, put me and my dog Noah James, another amazing independent artist, in the same room as Nipsey, and he knew what he was doing. This is Nipsey before Victory Lap, right? This is like 2013. He put me, Noah James, and Nipsey on a live stream to announce the Paid Dues Festival lineup. I had never met Nipsey in person. I just only had admired what he did in his interviews, his music, all that. Put us in a room. Cool as hell. We got video of it. They recorded it, and we're announcing the names. He's up here talking about, I'm working on this project right now called Victory Lap. That's going to be coming to y'all soon. And he took pictures with us. He gave us game. He showed us love. It was memorable. And the second time I saw him was at Paid Dues. And I didn't know that he had some kind of issue when getting into the actual venue, dealing with security. And so he walked up, and I'm thinking, like, I got a very memorable look. I had a flat top with a blonde streak at the top. So I'm like, Nip, what's good, bro? And like, he kind of like did one of those. And then his security guard came out and said, yeah, what you need? And I said, I don't need nothing. I don't need nothing. I apologize for bothering y'all. So that was one of them situations where I was like, damn, could I have handled that a different way and been more, aware of it? But I just think that the same person who had that situation, I talked to him also in a DM because when he did his $100 album, I was so inspired. I did $100 Curtiss King box that had all a DVD with all my music videos, had socks. It was a game box that I had made by a graphic designer. It
Mm-hmm.
had socks. It had my CDs. Every one of my CDs is inside this box. Sold it for $100. I spent maybe $1,000 something dollars. Only sold one. But damn it, Respect Magazine did an article about it, and it said it was inspired by Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle retweets it. I get in the DMs because he followed me, and I said, "Man, I just want to tell you how much of an inspiration you are to me." All he told me was, "God will rise," and then he was out of there. So, like, I look at certain folks like that, and I'm like, they're anointed. They're anointed, man. They're anointed energy. I think those are people that we don't have to be concerned about closure. I think they know what it is. I think they're given that insight and that vision. And I think that's why they press the way they do with whom they press to. So
Yeah.
I think Glasses has that on them. I think Pac has that on them. I think you have that on you. I think Wayno has that on them. I think there's a lot of folks out here that are moving in a certain way where you can just see, like, you don't got to call them to get on code. You don't got to call them to be stand-up individuals. Like these are folks that have difference of opinions on certain things. So
That's the
men,
default. That's the default setting.
false setting is, and of course there's women out here in this space also that are starting to be more abundant in a space that absolutely operate with the same energy too. So it's like, I think in recognizing that I'm not crazy for some of these viewpoints. I
Yeah.
talked to Glasses for an hour and I'm like, I'm not crazy. I'm crazy for thinking that I was normal like everybody else. And I was trying to do normal things and shrink myself,
Mm-hmm.
knowing damn well I got a mission on my back.
Less is more, Playboy. There's plenty of us. You're not crazy.
Yeah.
You're not alone out here. And I think that was, I think, in a lot of ways, that was the point of this live for me.
Mm.
I know I'm not the only one who sees this. I know I'm not the only one who feels like this. Who can I talk to who's in the mix of it from the West Coast who can just, if I'm tripping, let somebody from the West tell me that I'm tripping. Let me go get Curtiss King and see what he's talking about. I'll holler at Glasses tomorrow. I'm not even gonna stay on this live for the rest of the day because me and you can do this for days, it feels like. But
Anytime.
yeah, no, we gonna bust it back up again. I'm not letting this go.
No.
I'm not letting this go. Moving forward, I refuse. I refuse. I premature grade at 11 years old. I'm not about to get some unnatural ones off the strength of stress, holding it back and not saying what I believe needs to be said at this point in time. And too many people hit me after just going on Twitter. We were waiting to see if you were going to say something. Oh, word? You were waiting to see? So there was a question if I was or wouldn't? Would or wouldn't? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But also, I'll say this to them people, though, and I definitely want to get this message because I've been sharing this with my audience as well. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. Yes, this could have been done a year ago, but does it have the type of energetic momentum that everything else has? Are people as fed up right now after going through the things that they have over the last 4 months, as opposed to when it was like shit was a lot more like tame? Shit was a lot more like it ain't that big of a deal. It's not like, I think one of the most toxic things you hear at times is it's not that deep, because people will, it's not that deep, right into a deep sleep.
Facts.
And look at you crazy for being wide awake and saying, no. This don't sit right in my soul. Soul, what are you talking about?
It's not that deep.
It's not that deep is a cop out for not using critical thinking.
No. Not that deep. It's cold to let me know just how shallow you are.
Yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much. Not that deep. Thank you, shallow man. Thank you, shallow.
Thank you. Thank you. You know what? I never would have thought it'd be you, but now that I know, say less. I tend to trust the people that people present to me. Because to my point earlier, I didn't close at home, but that point earlier that I said that I'm like overly gracious, it shows the character in people. And I think that's why God made me go through that, because it was a lot of disappointment that came along with that. But people showed their ass to me in a way they wouldn't show to my peers, because they're like, Curtis ain't gonna say nothing about it. Curtis is cool. He ain't worried about that. Like I can not hit him back. I could not communicate with him and everything will be cool. Like he not gonna. All right, cool. Cool. What happens when I say no? Thank you. What happens when I say no? That money in the bank that you thought was there? Nah, that bank moved locations.
shout out to Dave East for having that moment on camera. I know you're artist, but we not doing nothing.
Nah.
I had a name when I stepped to you on for a beat. You was on that same.
Yeah. He said nah like that's a complete sentence. Nah is a complete sentence in
All the way.
2026.
All the way. Listen.
But I appreciate you having me on. I do.
Brothers and sisters, mothers and misters, bunions and blisters, this has been an early edition of Mechanism Monday, aka the Say It to My Face edition with my.
Nah, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You can't say Mechanism Monday and not do the thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, courtesy of Curtiss King, this has been Mechanism Monday, the Say It to My Face edition. Courtesy of my fucking guy.
That's Brandon, right? You can't not do this.
This dude, me and this dude gonna split burritos when I get out to the West Coast. And the meanest Mexican food truck he can direct me to. This is totally fucking happening. We ain't eating sushi. We're going straight to the truck. Curtis, thank you for joining me on this. Thank you for lending your voice, your time, your energy, and your insight. I deeply appreciate it. When you come out to the East Coast, we getting burgers, or come out to the East, we getting pizza. When I go out there, we getting tacos.
All that. Yeah. Easy work. I'm definitely gonna be out there too. So I'm gonna tap in.
Oh no, I need to be one of the first calls. I need to be after you get the hotel and the car situated. I need to be on the list, at least number 5. I need at least the 5th.
Look at Riata in there. Don't let her influence you right now. Look, because Riata said Curtis put ketchup on his tacos. Why are you trying to snitch on me to Mr. Meg? Why you doing that?
That's some cold shit.
Why you over here trying to look at Lord Racist said no ketchup. Everybody got flaws. Everybody got flaws. I need y'all to leave me alone, all right? Everybody got flaws. I need y'all to act like he who was without flaw. As second Corinthians 2.
Y'all do it. Okay, all right.
Don't let them do it. They derail me like this all the time. They're trying to keep the main thing. But no, I genuinely appreciate you having me in mind for the conversation, because I think the more that they see us all have these conversations, the more they realize the inevitable is already happening. It's not a matter of what's going to happen next. It's happening right now. And I think that it's a lot harder to disrupt or be agents of chaos in a space where people are on one accord. Even if we don't always do collaborations, I think it's amazing that in this point in time, you can broadcast from where you at and invite me on here, and I can do the same thing, which I will, especially this year, because they need to understand how much this is not an anomaly. This has been something that has been set in motion for a very long time.
Locked in. Everybody like, share, and subscribe. Push this out. Let more people see it, because it's the beige behavior. I'm not fucking with y'all.
Yep, that's what they do. They do me like that. See, that's how you know you got my audience over here. That's how you know you got some of my audience over here. Beige behavior.
That's some cold shit.
They call it beige rage when they see me start to turn red. It's beige rage is what they call that. Don't even worry about that. That's that Curtiss King TV behavior.
That's some cold shit. Oh, that's some cold shit. That is some cold shit. Folks, we're going to get up out of here. But next time I rotate back around in here, I'm going to see if I can track Glasses down. And if and when that happens, I'm hollering at Curtis, because I want all of us in the same room at the same time. And if that happens, I'm going to holler at Wayno. So it could be 2 dudes from the East and 2 dudes from the West, and we can really collaborate and start locking this thing down the way we're supposed to. Until that mystical, magical, majestical day arrives, enjoy the rest of your week. Great conversation, I agree, but they always are with a dude like Curtiss King. Don't ever forget, don't ever sleep. We're going to holler at y'all sooner than later. That's that beige rage right there. You just fucking with me for no reason. Everybody,
Mechanism Mondays.
Get off the line. I'm going to see everybody tomorrow. Mechanism Monday coming soon. I will holler sooner than later. Everybody be safe. Peace.
Yes, sir. Oh, still going live.
No, I got you.